Hi, this is Dominic from Paphos Life, and on a hot, a slightly dusty day, I find myself on a picnic site just next to the village of Kalinia on the banks of the Xeros Valley near Panaya and Statos Aios Photios, which is in that direction. I'm going to go and visit the village of Vretsia, which is down there on the borders of Paphos Forest. Well, I thought I'd start here and have a little introduction. You can get some of that erosion that's going on down there. Always fascinates me. Can you see it from here? There's a graveyard down there. While I'm here, I just want to highlight these funny little balls you see in pine trees. Avoid them at all costs because they're the nest of processionary pine caterpillars, and the caterpillars are very poisonous, especially to your pets. So if you see them and you've got a pet with you, go in the opposite direction. Whatever you do, don't whack them with a stick. Right, so we've driven to the far side of the village now, and I'm at the tavern, but I'm just looking at the landscape. There was a car coming to see us, and oh no, that's a truck. That must have gone past the car. Now this place is Vretsia Tavern. It was functional a few years ago, but it burnt down. And then they cleaned it out. But nothing happened with it since. We'll just walk through. You have to excuse the light settings. This isn't really why I'm here. I remember when this place was had been originally gutted, like something out of a Fallout game. Yes, you won't be getting a drink here. And in the past there have been donkeys in that field, but it looks like someone's growing vines there now. If you go down there, you'll come to, there's a little bird watching platform, and then you go to a fire break. And if you've got a 4x4 and you like a bit of adventure, it's a good drive. But if you're in a regular car, don't do it. To get to the bridge from here and the rest of Paphos Forest, you have to go back up that way to past the mosque. Have a look at the swing. There's an old fire there. Was it the boiler? Must have been outdoors because there's nothing on the other side of it. So we're going to drive back up through the village and stop off at various places along the way. Actually, before we go back through the village, I want to briefly show you this building. It's next to the tavern, and in the past it was locked up. I say past, I'm talking about 4 or 5 years ago. But recently there's obviously been a fire in here as well. Probably deliberately, I'd imagine. And this place is now gutted. Now what's noteworthy, other than the poor quality of the film because of the lack of light, is the ceiling. Because you can see it's got those little hooks on it. And back in the 50s, or before that, before the place was had electricity, they'd use those to hang lights from at night. You can see them in Finicas and places like that as well. And one of the issues that a lot of the abandoned villages had when the Turkish Cypriots were moved to the north and the Greek Cypriots were moved south was that because of the intercommunal strife in the 50s and 60s, they hadn't been modernised like the other villages had, so we didn't have electricity. That wasn't obviously the case at Vretsia, because you can see there where there were obviously light switches and power points. So they would have come at a later date, but originally when the place was built, there wouldn't have been electricity, hence these hooks. And yeah, I'm obviously annoying the local bird population, so I'll go. Right, I've come up through the village a little bit, and I wanted to stop here to show you this tiny little chapel. There's a competition for the smallest chapel in Paphos. This could be a contender. Whether it counts as a chapel or a shrine, I'm not sure. The place I'm most interested in though is this building here, because I went exploring there a few years ago. Because prior to that it had been locked up, but then it was open. So when we went, interestingly they have recently been repairing the minaret, if you look, because that had collapsed. We'll get a close look at that in a minute. But just want to point that out. So I make a lot of stamping noises because of the snakes, and we'll see what this is like now. Again, you have to apologise for any lighting issues. I haven't really got the right camera. Oh, someone's nicked that bed. I seem to remember there used to be a lot of wool in here. From refugees, apparently. Oh, there's some wool still. And there was a big old bed up here that had like a built-in music system. It must have been top range in the 70s. Oh. Ha! That's not quite the same as it used to be. I'll stick up pictures from my original article so you can see what it used to look like. But they obviously had power here. Sulphur fog. Sounds ominous. Right, this is the kitchen. Reminds me of my university days. Imagine having that as the view from your kitchen though. Okay, a bit less overgrown than that, but it would still be spectacular. So sad what happened there. I know that they have pilgrimages from the Turkish Cypriot population in the north. They come here once a year. Whether they still do or not, they did a few years back. See where we used to live. It must be tragic for them. Likewise, Greek Cypriots who are relocated to the south. Now, one other thing I heard, that came up frequently, was that I think it was in the 80s, there was actually a brothel operation here, believe it or not, in one of the buildings, and that no longer happens. Brothels have a habit of popping up. There was hotels that charged by the hour. There was a health club north of Limassol, which had some very interesting little rooms in there. Again, rented by the hour. And remember, if you like our content, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, as it really does help YouTube promote us. And if you want to help us financially, then go to our paphoslife.com/coffee page, and you can either send us coffee or click on one of the affiliate links. These buildings are all fairly empty now. Now this is the mosque, and as I said, a few years ago the minaret had collapsed, but it's since been replaced. If you can get in still. Now that road down there will eventually lead to Vretsia Bridge, Paphos, and it's basically the camel trail, so you get all of the Venetian Bridges, Paphos, and the other one, Elia, I think. But we all go in here. Yes, it's in a decent state of repair. So we'll go through to the other side. A bit wary of the staircase, but it seems to be solid enough. Ooh. And that takes us up to the top. So somebody has cared enough to repair and replace the minaret, which is nice to see. Because if they're ever going to find a lasting peace, they need to be getting on with each other. God, it's beautiful here. Well, I'll have a wander for another couple of buildings and that'll do, I think. Now this here is the old Mukhtar's house. And when I first visited here, there was a full balcony going across the top there. And it was in a lot better state of repairs. And it's pretty much collapsing now. And this building here always used to be locked. Have a quick look through here. A lot of the buildings were actually used by hunters in the 80s and 90s, I'm led to believe. I have no idea what this says. Apologies if it's rude. Bit of a weird graffiti there. You can see more of those hooks on the ceiling here, as well as some particularly weird artwork. Ooh. A little secluded bit with a slightly dodgy roof, no doubt. I won't bother going through there. So that was Vretsia, a beautiful place tinged with sadness. I'll finish with a view of a building I particularly like, because it shows that the real winner is ultimately nature.